Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about DJ Envy. Now, as you can see, DJ Envy has been in a lot of trouble lately, man. He's been making a lot of headlines. I think that was one of the first times since the Rick Ross situation where they went back and forth that I ever seen DJ Envy trending on social media, man. And he was trending on all platforms. And for one specific reason. DJ Envy has been involved, or is allegedly involved, I should say, in this whole real estate scam that's caught the attention of the feds. And a guy who DJ Envy has brought on the Breakfast Club platform, a guy by the name of Cesar Pina, was recently arrested by the feds. Now, this thing is playing out like a movie, and it seems like there was a lot of warning signs out there before this even happened. But what we're going to do today is we're going to go over what took place yesterday, where it looks like Cesar Pina was actually arrested by the feds, and where the Breakfast Club office was also raided by the feds. And this is crazy because the Breakfast Club is a staple in hip hop culture. The Breakfast Club is like the one place where everybody knows that they can get hip hop news up to date from most sources, you know, on a large scale. I'm talking about your mainstream news and stuff like that. You know, for your non-mainstream stuff, you got to come down to the blogs and stuff like that. But for this to be involving somebody with such a high stature in the hip hop game, and somebody who's been in the hip hop game so long as like DJ Envy, because remember, he got down first with DJ Clue, he was with Desert Storm, he was doing his thing as a DJ, ended up getting with the Breakfast Club, and it seems like it's been all up since then. But man, this thing has reared its ugly head, and it looks like it's gonna backfire on him and Cesar Pina if any of these allegations are true. But before we get to the story and play this news report, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, so let's talk about this whole situation with DJ Envy and Cesar Pina, man. So it looks like the local news there in New Jersey and the New York area, the surrounding area, is really locked in on this story. This is one of the hottest stories right now. It's starting to get the eyes of a lot of people outside of the hip hop community, outside of the whole, you know, hip hop culture, and it's really become a mainstream story at this point. So man, let's play some of this news story and see the latest updates about what took place yesterday in the Breakfast Club office, what's recently gone on with Cesar Pina.
DJ Envy's longtime business partner has been arrested by federal agents in New Jersey. Cesar Pina has been charged with fraud. Investigative reporter Sarah Wallace has been all over the story. She has the latest from federal court in Newark.
Cesar Pina arrested by the feds this morning on a charge of wire fraud and brought here to the federal courthouse in Newark. They say this may be just the beginning. He could face additional charges of money laundering.
Now, it looks like he was brought in for wire fraud, right? And the thing is with wire fraud is all you have to do is make one transaction over social media, or not even over social media, over any type of electronic device, man, including money that you intend to use for some sort of fraud, man. And then it's automatically a wire fraud charge. That's a simple way of putting it. I know it's a little bit more complicated than that, but yo, basically when you think wire fraud, just think of electronic means of transferring money for illegal situations or illegal use or to defraud somebody in some way, right? But man, let's continue. So basically she's saying that Cesar Pina, it looks like that's the initial charge that they're bringing him in for. Now you heard DJ Envy at this point has not been arrested and brought in for wire fraud, but man, let's knock on wood, because I'm gonna keep it real, man. I hate to see DJ Envy going through this, man. On the surface, he seems like a good guy. Even when it was just him, Angela Yee, and Charlamagne, he seemed like the mediator to me between Angela Yee's opinions, which were strong, and Charlamagne's opinions, which were strong. But recently, he's been, you know, with the Rick Ross thing and other things like that, he's been brought out more of his personality or whatnot, and he doesn't seem like a bad guy. The whole book tour thing with his wife, you know, that was a little weird. But other than that, he seems all right, man. But right now, it looks like Cesar Pina, the guy who went by the name, I believe, is Flippin' New Jersey, is the one that's under charges.
You might know him on Instagram as Flippin' NJ, my friend Cesar Pina.
DJ Envy often had his pal, Cesar Pina, on the radio host The Breakfast Club show.
Started with no money, and here I am, $50 million later in real estate.
Promoting their real estate partnership. Now, in this federal complaint, the government says Pina engaged in a Ponzi-like scheme involving investors, adding Pina defrauded dozens of victims of millions of dollars.
Now, what's crazy about this situation is with Cesar Pina, the people he was defrauding, they had bank. Now, a lot of the money that they had was from different things. Some people got settlements. Some people got all these other type of things. But I mean, they were dropping bags. I'm talking about $500,000 investments, $800,000 investments, $200,000 investments. I mean, they were dropping some money. So you can see where initially you're like, man, millions? How did he get a scam up to millions? Man, it could add up quickly, man. And there's several videos out there right now because for scammers or anybody who's out there scamming, man, you got to know that if you're doing like white collar scams and things like that, all right, there's platforms that are dedicated to this, like CoffeeZilla, Spencer Cornelia, you got Tony, you got Tony the Closer, you got JT, Pocket Watching with JT. These people, all they do every week is make videos of people who are out there allegedly scamming, man. And they get hundreds of thousands of views, sometimes even millions. If you look at Spencer Cornelia's video about DJ Envy and Cesar Pina, it's like, I think last time I checked, it was like 300,000 or something like that in a couple of days. Like, I mean, there's a lot of eyes on this stuff because people have a natural inclination to not want to get scammed. So they want to see what the newest scam is out there. So, I mean, I'm assuming that makes it tougher for scammers in the future. But, you know, people will always fall for scams because I watched a whole documentary on this. And basically, it all depends on that situation. It's so many things that line up to you being scammed in that particular time or situation. Now, it could be small scale, like anything under $10,000, $5,000, even $100, right? But for most people, they've actually, you know, fell for something like that, right? But when you start talking about these broad scams where people are investing big amounts of money, I'm just mad they didn't do their research. I mean, a lot of these people did draw up contracts and went to lawyers and did what they were supposed to do, but it just seems like they didn't dig a little bit deeper than they should have, because a lot of the stuff that came out in those videos is telling, to say the least, man. Now let's continue.
$1 million bond and is being released on electronic monitoring. He cannot leave the state of New Jersey. No comment from DJ Envy. An inside source tells us that the iHeartRadio offices were visited by the feds, who took out electronic equipment as part of this investigation. From Newark, Sarah Wallace, News 4 New York. $1 million bond.
So you heard that last part, and I'm gonna play it again. But basically, they went to the iHeart Media office and basically went in there to take out equipment that they believe could help in this investigation. This is horrible for DJ Envy, man, because what radio station wants the feds coming into their doors ever? You know what I mean? They've already got their own federal regulations that they've got to look after, involving what they can promote, what they can't promote. So then this is just a bad look all around. And the weird place that they're in is, I'm pretty sure the Breakfast Club is their bread and butter. I'm pretty sure the Breakfast Club, with their deal with BET and all these other things, is like one of the #1 shows in the nation. So now you're in a tough spot. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do in this situation? I'm pretty sure Charlamagne will still be there, but if DJ Envy is found guilty in any way or goes to jail, you might as well call it a done deal. Is it really the Breakfast Club anymore? Okay, so I wanted to go over this news story from the Daily Mail where they talk about the situation with DJ Envy and the Breakfast Club. Now, in the headline you see, it says this. It says, iHeartMedia office is raided by feds as Breakfast Club star DJ Envy's business partner, Cesar Pina, is arrested in multi-million-dollar Ponzi scam. Now, in the bullet points, they say Cesar Huberto Pina, 45 years old, was arrested in New Jersey on Wednesday. He is a business associate of DJ Envy and frequent guest on the Breakfast Club. iHeartRadio offices were reportedly raided by federal agents in the probe. Now that's crazy. I wonder this. What did they get in the probe from the iHeartRadio offices? Like, was there any kind of computer evidence that they believe that was left? Because, you know, typically in a radio setup, they keep tapes of past shows and things of that nature, but everything's digital now. So maybe it was some sort of computer. I mean, that could be, if it's important to the company, man, that could also hurt DJ Envy in the long run too. Now, it also continues by saying a business partner of the Breakfast Club co-host DJ Envy has been arrested on a federal wire fraud charge in an alleged Ponzi-like real estate scheme. Cesar Pina, 45, was arrested on Wednesday as prosecutors say he built investors in the New Jersey home flipping scheme out of millions with false promises of huge returns. Now, if there's one thing that I have noticed in all of these scam reports and all these videos about scammers and people doing things, anybody who offers you these huge returns, you got to look at it with like, yo, man, nah, that's not even possible. You know what I mean? And in hip hop, we've seen this. You would think with gangster rappers and cats who seem like they're close to the streets and used to allegedly dealing with criminals, that they would be smart enough to not be scammed by these things. Well, nobody's 100% protected from ever being scammed, man. It all depends on things lining up, man. Anybody can be scammed. There's been geniuses who have been scammed. You know what I'm saying? Like legit geniuses who have been scammed. So you just have to do your due diligence and watch out. You know what I mean? And stop believing everybody and everything. Now, it continues by saying this. Pina, who also goes by the moniker Flippin' NJ, appeared often on the popular Breakfast Club morning radio show hosted by DJ Envy and Charlamagne the God, where he touted his investment schemes. Now, that's the point where a lot of people are saying that DJ Envy's probably going to find himself in some trouble. Because, okay, it's one thing that you might have an association with Cesar Pina. You might have worked with Cesar Pina in the past. He might have even scammed you. But when you bring him onto a legit platform with millions upon millions of viewers like the Breakfast Club, their kind of reach, and then to platform, people will be like, okay, were you really in on this scheme or not? It just makes it look worse. Now, I'm not saying DJ Envy is responsible for any of this. And for what he's been saying, he feels like he got scammed too. But when things come out, we'll see exactly what happened. Just because Senor Pina is being arrested and being charged doesn't mean he's 100% guilty of this. At this time, we don't know, man. So let's continue. Now, it says DJ Envy, whose real name is Rashawn Casey, has not been charged with wrongdoing, although a criminal complaint identifying him only as individual one calls him Pina's business partner, saying his fame was key to the alleged scheme. As a part of the probe, federal agents raided the offices of iHeartMedia, which syndicates the Breakfast Club, and seized electronic devices. Now, when they say electronic devices, like I said, I'm guessing it was computers and stuff like that. But for DJ Envy, you would think, what in the world would he even be doing next to a guy like Cesar if this is the case? Now, I'm not sure if Cesar's guilty of this, but come on, man. DJ Envy's been doing this a very long time. He's been a celeb in this space as far as being a DJ a very long time. And he's always looked like he had money a very long time. But I don't know if he's guilty of this or not. I just know from the surface, it doesn't look good. Now, it also says that the Daily Mail has reached out to iHeartMedia for comment. DJ Envy appeared on the Breakfast Club as usual on Thursday morning, but the show did not address Pina's arrest. So, I mean, at some point, DJ Envy might have to address this. But he went on the Breakfast Club recently and said his attorneys told him not to talk about it. So, I mean, at this point, I would listen to my attorneys like Charlamagne told him. I ain't saying nothing, man, because you ain't about to use my words to hit me up. You know what I mean? Now, prosecutors say that since 2017, Pina has solicited investments from small investors to flip homes in New Jersey and elsewhere, promising returns of 20 to 45% in 5 months. Now, 25 to 45% returns in 5 months is crazy, bruh. Like, in what world does that sound normal, man? Everybody, your antennas should go up when you start hearing of returns like that, because for all intents and purposes, man, that shouldn't even be possible. You know what I mean? Judging on everything. And if you've watched any of these shows, any of those YouTube channels, it's always something like that. You know, and being greedy, and I'm not trying to blame the victims in this situation at all. But, unless you're thinking about those returns, you wouldn't be throwing so much money at it. You know what I mean? But we'll see. But man, let's continue. Now it says, but instead of investing the funds as promised, the complaint alleges that Pina siphoned some of the funds for personal use and used other victim funds to pay off early investors in a Ponzi-like scheme. And that seems like what they do, man, in these Ponzi schemes. Is you just take the money from the new people to pay the old people for a little bit until you get more new people, and it's supposed to continue. But it always comes crashing down when everybody wants their money back at the same time. You know what I mean? Once things like now where there's kind of an economic downturn, or some people even call it a recession, people might be like, hey, I got to pull my money out of that, man, because I got things to pay for. And that's when these things start to show their head, man. It always happens, you know? Now, it also says, we allege Pina offered a ridiculously high rate of return to investors, then took the millions he got and invested it in himself, said Special Agent in Charge James E. Dennehy of the FBI's Newark field office. So, man, they got the feds involved. I mean, everybody knows the phrase, man. They don't come unless they already got you, man. And when the feds get involved, it's basically time to wrap it up. Now, history has proven time and time again, Ponzi schemes don't work. The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow eventually runs out. Investors take note. It's your money. Don't let them steal it, he added. So basically, the officer in this case, or I should say the federal agent in this case, just basically put it out there that, yo, man, Ponzi schemes and these schemes where they promise you all these heavy returns and stuff like that, they never what they're broadcast to be. It's usually something else, man, behind that. And most times people find out it's some sort of scam. So, man, the best way, man, and I've always seen people say this, and I'm not a super big investor like that, but you know, that slow and steady method, man, I think that's always proven true. Okay, and I want to end by noting this last point. So at the end of the story, it says this. It says Pina pleaded not guilty and was released on a $1 million secured bond with electronic monitoring. So it looks like Cesar Pina was released on a secured bond for $1 million, and basically meaning that he had the money to put up, which is probably, I'm not sure with the feds, but I know in most states it's like 10%, 15% or something like that. So you're talking about $100,000, $150,000. And I wonder whose money that is. Hopefully it was his, but man, this is a crazy story to say the least. But y'all tell me what y'all think, man. Is DJ Envy going out bad, man? Did he have a good thing going just being a DJ and being on the Breakfast Club? And like it said, the Breakfast Club has been around for a long time. This just came out. Like him and Cesar Pina's relationship, like 4 or 5 years of them pushing this, flipping New Jersey and all that. But is it enough to destroy what he's got going before that? You know what I mean? Now with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.